Hello everybody, and welcome back to Pravus Gaming and more Plague Inc. Evolved Custom Scenarios. We have a request from one of the viewers on Discord. It is called Inky Rebirth. And I've tried to find this on Steam, and it is, like, unfindable. No idea why. But there it is! In the actual Plague Inc. console. I have no idea why. Client is what I meant to say. Anyway, Inky Rebirth by Skymrate. At least I'm assuming that's how I'm supposed to say it. Beta, almost done. Give me any ideas or report any mistakes or mistypes. Inspired from Bendy and the Ink Machine. Ooh. Don't know if I've had a Bendy and the Ink Machine type of scenario yet. Granted, it's inspired and not directly based on it, but still. Bendy and the Ink Machine. There's a game that had a lot of promise that I kind of feel like kind of fell flat by the end. At least it doesn't seem like it was received all that well, but still. Differs differently enough so you don't have to know the source material, misspelled source. Okay, turn everyone into inky creatures. Make them demons, mindless animals, or even abuse species. I'm sure you mean new. Once again, it's not done. So don't expect this to be flawless. This is East. Fairly East. So maybe play on brutal or normal. Granted, I tested on casual, so take that with a grain of salt. Well, if you tested it on casual, that's hardly a good rating for normal or brutal. Things I want to add: events, fixing bugs and mistakes, add more stuff, do not touch the debug stuff, blah, blah, blah. Tell me if there are any mistakes or unbalanced traits. Thanks. All right. So it's very much an in-progress scenario. I'm alright with that. Get ready for the critiquing. Nurex Worm, Metabolic Jump, Genetic Mimic, Enterocite, Extremophile, and Symptostasis by default. Normal difficulty. Inika is the name. Similar but different. As this was inspired from Bendy and the Ink Machine, there are still a large amount of differences. Example, not a single person is going to become a Bendy, or an Alice, or anything like that. Just demons, animalistic killers, and maybe a new species type. You don't need to know the source material. Alright, though there's nothing wrong with knowing the source material. I mean, heck, I think a Bendy and the Ink Machine scenario sounds kind of cool. How to win. Simply reach the end of a tree, then evolving the World of Ink ability. Getting to the end of more than one tree bugs it out, so please don't do that. Each tree section is marked by a different color. Red and orange are the same thing, it's just separating them looks better. Made on mobile. Oh, made on mobile, really? Wow. Is there actually like a Plague Inc. scenario creator on mobile? I've never looked or even tried. I would think that's really difficult, but okay. So, let's take a look at the... Oh, we have to start in a country, of course. I was pressing the Q button like, why are my transmissions coming up? No, that's obvious. I didn't start in Saudi Arabia yet. All right. Transmissions. Wow, there's a bit of customization here. Debug traits. Do not evolve. Okay, we will leave that alone. Bats. Host a strain of the Nipah virus that can infect humans. What does that have to do with an ink machine? Rodents. Urban regions. Birds. Land transmission. Insects. Hot climates. Livestock. Rural. Crust for, I am guessing, air? Yes. Ink will rapidly crust and harden without a host. Cause, with an extra E, ing, little bits if it to float around in the air. Dilution. Dilution? Diluting, I guess is what you mean. Ink can now dilute and spread in water. Noticeable because of color. Yes, black as opposed to transparent. Very noticeable. Symptoms: smooth skin. The host flesh produces a chemical that makes the host skin unnaturally slick, shiny, and smooth. Very creepy. We'll pick that up. Inky flesh. The host's skin starts to dissolve from previous chemical, oozing in dark ink-like substance in its place. All right, that's pretty effective for only one DNA. Face reformation. The face turns an inky white with simplistic facial structures and features like a cartoon character. I will leave that alone for now. Abilities. We have our cold resistance, heat resistance, drug resistance. We have our Trojan planes, since this is, of course, a Nurex worm. And unlock abilities. Does nothing to your stats, but unlocks abilities per ending. Okay, so where are the different colored trees? Are those in the symptoms? I guess we're going to find out for sure one way or the other. Color me curious. I want to see what this is like. We could go for the bats. Given that they are free, I guess I don't see any reason not to. Why are the bats free? Why? I don't know. Pathogen able to spread through bat urine, especially via fruits. Hot and humid climates. Well, we're not humid, but we are hot. So that should help a little bit in Saudi Arabia. Insects wouldn't be that bad, but mainly we want to save for crust. Because we are arid, which means air travel is good for me. So we'll pick that up shortly. 11 DNA. Okay, I can wait for that. Come on, one more point. One more point. Thank you. There we go. I'm very tempted to cheat. Like, knowing there's a debug mode right there is just like, yeah, let's break the game. But I'm not going to do that because the author specifically said don't do this. So I'm not going to do it because I'm not mean. Let's go for birds. So there are a few misspellings I'm already noticing here and there, as I pointed out. which is not a big deal. Most of that's easy enough to capture. Frankly, if you're doing this all on mobile, like, geez, dude. That'd be so much harder to track. Props. Do we want to go for face reformation now? Yeah, let's go for some extra severity. Blobs. The internal structure breaks down, turning hosts into blobs of living ink. Alrighty. Hair loss. All of the hosts... gosh dang it, I can't read today. All of the hosts' hair falls out and are replaced with structure fibers. Body structure fits that of a simple cartoon character and no longer oozes ink everywhere. So we need a possessive apostrophe and oozes. Does this start a new tree? Because it's red still. I assume orange is where it delineates, so we'll go without that. Cartoony eyes. The host's eyes pure black with a cartoony indent on the sides like old-timey cartoon eyes. Hosts can no longer see color and only see in black and white. That's a lot more severity than I need at this stage. Now, the author, when he sent me the message on Discord, did specifically recommend either the blob or feral root. So here's the feral root right here, which is a lot of severity, more than I need right now. Pretty good amount of infectivity considering, though. Feral root I haven't found yet, but I'm guessing after I go for cartoony, we will find it. I might try cartoony, just because it's a little bit harder to get to, and therefore will be more interesting. Yeah, I think so. Let's see, what do we want to go for next? Let's go for some water transmission just to unlock a few extra options, though we already are in Egypt, so that's not a big deal. There's the cartoony eyes, whether I like it or not. Now, here's something to be concerned about, right? So if you are going to create a scenario where you have multiple branching paths, you have to get to the end of one path, and that's more or less going to win it for you, right? Be very concerned about mutation chance. Reason being, one, it might force people to go down a path that they don't want to go. But two, if you're already aware that it has bugging problems when you get to World of Ink, well, what if I didn't intend to get to the end? I didn't really have much of a choice because, you know, mutation chance got me there. Granted, I guess I could always devolve, and in most circumstances, people will be able to fix it. Just do be aware. Like, mutation chance can work against you. I don't think it's going to break anything permanently. I can get around it. Just something to be mindful of. Internal destruction. The host's internal organs and muscles morph into inky muscles, no longer needed to eat, drink, or breath, and are incredibly strong for their, misspelled, simplistic body shape. Is this the feral root? I do not know. Horses. Why do we have access to horse 2, but we don't have access to horse 1? I'm guessing it's supposed to be right there. Go for a little bit of extra air and water transmission. No extreme bioaerosol for me. I will go for the rodents so I can spread a teeny weeny bit faster in Europe. We have enough severity that I feel like I can get a pretty hefty amount of DNA, so I'm not feeling too worried about that. We will pick up some cold resistance, just so I can spread a little faster in the north. Also some drug resistance, and then probably cold resistance level 2. Blobs mutated whether I like it or not. So there's the start to that path. Let's go for the Trojan Plain so I can get some extra islands a little on the early side. And I guess I'm going to go ahead and grab Internal Destruction and hope that this is indeed the feral path. Horn growth. Horns will grow horn on the top of their heads, similar to a demon. But remember, even though you look similar to a demon, you ain't no Bendy. You'll never live up to Bendy. Aw. Horn growth. We'll pick that up and then formal accessories. Hosts grow an inky black bow tie on their necks and an inky black top hat, along with a black and white cane on their hands. All are permanently stuck there. Well, if I have to mutate a horrible extra appendage to my body, a top hat and a cane is not going to be the worst of it. I can think of way worse. This is extremely cheap, by the way. I feel like the costs need to be reworked a little bit here. If you have symptostasis, it seems to utterly ruin it for you. All right. Let's go over some livestock, level 1 and 2, just so I spread a tiny little bit faster in places like Russia, which I'm already anticipating will be a problem for me. What else do I want? Let's see. Let's go to the Caribbean. I do feel like we are spreading incredibly fast. Like, there's probably a bit of a tweaking in the code here, I would have to guess. I don't think I normally would spread this quickly with this little infectivity. So we got the eyesless insanity. Eyes and hair fall out, only able to see horrific imagery, making them slowly go insane. And feral. Oh, well, that's feral. Oops. Okay, apparently I was supposed to go down this path. Well, sorry, I think I'm still going to go up this one. The host's mind, Simplafy, attack anything and everything it can sense. The world is going downhill fast. Is that the end of the tree? I feel like it is. And that's where I would go for World of Ink. Well, that's incredibly easy, though. Like, that's too easy. Yeah, I would recommend reworking this path a little bit. And what's up here? I don't know. This feels like it actually is turning people into bendy, though, despite what you might say. Let's see. I'm going to go for the unlocking of abilities. Unlocks abilities per ending. All right, so we have to get to the end of a tree, and that's going to unlock the world of ink that we want to win the game, I assume. Body clothes. Then we can go for removable accessories. The top hat and cane can now temporarily be removed at will, and will grow back if not put back in time. Hosts can now adjust their bow ties as well. I mean, this doesn't seem so bad. We're all just, like, super dapper. You know? There are worse things in this world. Let's go for some extra drug resistance. We're doing A-okay in terms of our infectivity at this point. I am not worried even a little bit. Do we want to go for horses for the arid and rural locations? Not especially. Feral mutated, whether I like it or not. All right. Well, removable accessories. Let's go for that. Then there's infinite regeneration. The heart turns into a white ball producing ink. If any limbs are removed, the host will just regenerate in a matter of seconds. See? Not only have we made you guys super stylish, but now you're immortal. Congratulations. All right, let's go to New Zealand. And then all we're missing after that is Sweden. Nope, not anymore. Sweden has bought into this. All right, Canada is giving me some problems. Infinite regeneration, we'll pick that up. Whoa! Sharper teeth. Host teeth begin to sharpen, giving them a more creepy and demonic look. Mono voice. Host voices change to have a deep monotone form of voice with a light radio-like sound to it. Bubbly voice. Bubbly and joyful and overly excited, I assume is what it's supposed to be, no matter the circumstance. See, this is confusing me a little bit. This is a very different and, like, elaborate path, and you wanted me to go the Blob and Feral path, which is extremely simplistic. I'm just saying, I'm not sure why. World of Ink and enhanced, for some reason, I'm guessing you ran out of character space. Senses. Hosts have enhanced, well, or you just missed the A. I don't know. Touch, hearing, and smelling, allowing them to kill faster and more efficiently, increasing lethality decently. I'm not really looking for the lethality tree. We can reduce infectivity. People don't like the monotone voice. What do you know? Sharper teeth feels like it's going to go down a, lethality path that I don't want. So we're going to go for mono voice, then posture change. Hosts' posture are forced to stand up straight, is unable to bend down at all. Same goes for sitting. All right. Then we have emotionless. Hosts lose most emotion, they may have previously had, only able to act formally and semi-politely. So we're turning people into actual cartoons. Gray world. The world is now full of boring, monotone creatures who have no true purpose in life but to exist eternally. My entire point of existence is to exist eternally. What am I, God? Bubbly voice. Happy times. Showbiz. Act enthusiastically. Overall act like a Showtime actor. Silly times ahead. Hosts now act like a silly, goofy cartoon characters with simple and round bodies. So, rubber hose style animation, is that what you're trying to tell me? Which, by the way, is a really interesting lost art form, I would say. Let's take a look at the sharper teeth. Longer horns, making the evil aura. That's just straight up misspelled, not even mistyped. A-U-R-A is what you're looking for. Eerie joy shifts to enthusiastic voice with a radio-static sounding filter, speaking in the manner of a talk show host. Growth spurt. Growth spurt. Hosts grow up to be 8 to 10 feet tall. Now look down on uninfected both metaphorically and literally. Demonic mentality. Hosts start to become less sympathetic and kind, become more convincing, manipulative, cunning, malicious, sinister, and creepy. This is becoming a horror film. Dark times. The world is being filled with evil. Soon wars will break out. Lives will be taken. Destruction will happen. Just for laughs. All right, we're going to go down that route. Why not? I'm going to go ahead and devolve the feral so we don't mess things up. There's the world of ink. We also have demonic trickery 1. Hosts are able to convince uninfected to join forces with multiple tactics. Increases all stats slightly. Well, I guess a little bit of lethality isn't the worst thing in the world. Mainly, I need to make sure that we keep bombing Canada. And by bombing, I mean just keep sending people over there. Huh. Okay, well now we're less bendy and more just, I don't know, various different genres of cartoons. All right, let's just go ahead and pick up World of Ink. I think that's the end of it. Plenty of DNA to go around, though. Holy crud. Let's just genetic reshuffle our way to a super good score. Everyone's infected. World of Ink. Congratulations. The world is now made of ink. The land is ink. The water is ink. The buildings are ink. And even the people are ink. The whole planet is now ink. Thank you for transforming this planet into a cartoony reality. OBKB. Huh. So, besides the misspellings, concept-wise, the scenario is quite good. I like the concept of turning everything into a cartoon. not a problem. Primarily, I think that what the author has to contend with is the layout of the symptoms tree. If you can go down the blob and feral routes, like right off the bat, that's really not that interesting or fun. It's a little bit too easy to get to that, and that is a win condition. But you're kind of limited in your space because you have so many other symptoms. If anything, I would say that maybe we are in one of those weird situations where maybe the author has done too much. Too many options, too many different symptoms required per branching path. Maybe. There might be a way to tighten that up a little bit. I can't tell you exactly how, that's kind of up to you. But I would make Blob and Feral a little bit more fleshed out and harder to get to, or harder to finish, just so you have, a more competitive option there. And I would probably simplify the other 3 branching paths for either the demonic, the happy, or the monotone cartoon styles. All right, I would just tighten that up a little bit, maybe get rid of a couple symptoms each, and then have them all 3 of them off of one branching path rather than have the dark go off in a different direction from the other 2. I'm just saying, just spitballing here. I don't know for absolute sure. Transmissions, you could probably use a lot of customization here. You have the right idea with the air and the water transmissions, but everything else doesn't really fit that well. So I would look for a lot of customization and transmissions to really help the scenario become top-notch. Abilities, for the most part, are okay. I kind of like the idea of having different branching paths leading to different final abilities that win the game. It's a little difficult to do that just because you know that the world of Ink has a tendency to bug out and ruin things for people. But you've given them some warning ahead of time. If they don't listen to your warning, that's kind of up to them. So I like the idea behind that as well. I think there's a lot of promise in this scenario, but it needs a bit of refinement, it needs to be cleaned up, and the transmissions and the symptom layout needs to be rethought. That would be my 2 cents. Just first pass at the scenario. If you guys have any suggestions down in the comment section down below, I'm sure that the author would love to hear some very constructive criticism. 327 days, 29% cure progress, 75,614 points, 3 stars, baboom. Oh, also, I don't know if you did make it a little bit easier to spread by messing with the base numbers and resistances and infectivity, but that was a little bit easier than I'm used to. I would say that maybe, just maybe, you could tweak those numbers back to what they were originally. I'm just guessing you played with them. Guessing. I don't know for sure. Thank you all very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If so, then I would ask that you hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.